All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna sit down, like I'm in here at night, I'm in my recovery room, and I'm like sitting in this chair, and first we'll turn the biocharger on without the PEMF on, and we'll test, actually you know what we should do, is test it without the biocharger on first with just the PEMF unit.
Okay.
And see what we're getting out of this. With this thing kind of like, it's usually like right there beside me. And I'm sitting in here reading. And so you ready?
Me? Here, we'll get a baseline.
Or Brian. But don't do the biocharger yet, okay?
There's like burns on this end.
So hold that.
Okay. Okay, so here's my body voltage. We got this on camera.
Here, mister.
Here, hold that.
So sitting,
Should I do nitro?
sitting in the pulsed electromagnetic field chair.
Let me just hold that right
Okay.
there. That's the magnetic field.
Testing my magnetic field, testing my body voltage. And what we'll also do after we test this is we'll move the actual unit farther from my body and see if there's a difference when this thing is moved farther away versus closer. But we'll start with it kind of like tucked in here, nice and close. Okay.
Can I turn this on? No.
No, we're gonna do the biocharger after this.
Alright, start.
Is that better?
When Brian says start.
All right, I think we're ready.
Okay, start and then just turn it all the way up to 100%.
So this is burning.
Blame it on the dog.
I'll put it on like no.
Okay, so it's obviously, just keep it at 7.8. Keep it at 7.8. Here. Just put it right there and then... What's my body voltage?
Stayed pretty much the same.
Okay.
I'm gonna check your current now. So that's
and then-
29 microamps.
Now what happens if we move that farther away? Any change?
The current stayed the same, about 2830 microamps.
This is warning.
Or 70 hertz. So that's just from the pad itself.
But you would expect for one of these to produce quite a bit of electromagnetic radiation, 'cause that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
it's
electromagnetic
producing.
radiation producing device. But this pulse wave it's producing, when you were describing at the beginning of this podcast, how PEMF is more of a therapeutic frequency, with this device on and someone sitting in this chair, you just turn it off?
Yeah, I didn't know if you're still using it.
Nope. I'll tell you when to turn it off. So go ahead and turn it back on, all the way up to where it was before. Yep, here. So you go like this, and then try not to touch any dials, okay?
So I wasn't sure if you wanted to-
Okay. Do you think this would be problematic from a radiation standpoint?
That's the question.
Because I feel amazing when I finish
Yeah.
using this thing.
So what's interesting is it's mainly in the below 2 kilohertz range and above 2 kilohertz. So I'm changing it to the different frequencies. There's not a 50, 60 hertz magnetic field here.
Wow.
What I'm getting is this magnetic field from the up to 2 kilohertz and over 2 kilohertz, and then also the 16.7 hertz. So what's the hertz frequency of the mat itself?
Right now I have it on 7.8 pulse per second
Okay.
with a magnetic field strength of 103 for milligauss.
Okay. So I would say this is one of the safer machines that I've measured as far as like what it's purported to do versus
Well, that's
the
good.
shielding
Considering it
and
costs like
everything.
$40,000, I would hope.
Yeah. So
Alright.
let's see. I'm going to check one more thing. I'm curious about the current here. And 26 microamps. So I'm going to go to the hertz. See what frequency.
Grab your brother, Taryn.
44 kilohertz. So that part is concerning, the kilohertz reading that we're getting there from the current, pulse current. So what I'm curious about is if that is, when we turn it off,
Okay, so
if
now
that goes away.
Okay, so Taryn, go ahead and flip this off now,
Yeah.
and we're gonna see if that goes away.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Okay.
So now that makes me wonder if this is creating any amount of dirty electricity.
Now, what if we move this about as far away from the body as we can get? Okay, so Taryn, turn it. See if you can just flip it, press start, and then turn it back up to 100, and get it as far away from me as possible. And then let's see if it does that, if it produces that same effect, and we'll see if it's just the generator itself.
So it looks like it's about the same.
Keep it at 7.
Yeah, just leave it
Trying
there.
to change many
Excuse me.
settings
I'm gonna get one
on
more.
it.
Yeah, it's at 7.8 right now.
Okay. And I'm gonna check. So that's the harmonics of the dirty power that it's creating. Okay, now we can turn it off, and
Okay, good. Go and flip it off.
so then it goes down to that.
Drops down to 45. Is that significant?
Yeah, that's pretty significant. So there is some dirty electricity that's being produced by the device itself, and that is coming onto your body. That's separate from the therapeutic.
Do you think that plugging this into a dirty electricity filter would help with that at all?
Maybe a little bit. We can test that, because I think you've got a few around here.
Do we have one plugged in? Do you guys want to grab a dirty electricity filter from Dad's office?
What's it look like?
It's one of those little.
Are they black?
I have a few. I have some of the black shielded healing ones, but then some of the green, like I think they're the green wave. I know. I got to get rid of these
No,
hiccups.
it looks like that plug-in right
bad-
there.
bad
but
for
we might need to
podcasting.
keep that one there.
Salad hiccups.
I've got one up
We took
here.
a break, just for those of you listening in, we took a break after we did the solar panel and the guest house and the smart meter, which we have determined is not a smart meter after all. We ate a bunch of salad and sprouts and salmon and
Bread, Mom.
sourdough bread and all manner of different vegetables and shoots and greens. So I've got veggie hiccups.
Are there the big black outlet things?
Okay, so now we've got this plugged into a dirty we got one. We got this now plugged into a dirty electricity filter. So let's flip it back on now.
So it's about half.
So that's
coming
good. We
onto
know if
the
we
line.
run this on a dirty electricity filter,
Yep. And then let's
that's helping.
plug this in, and we'll see what this is. So it's still going onto the ground, though.
Oops, sorry.
So it's okay. We found out what.
All right, I think we
needed.
figured it out, brother. All right, so best practice is have that thing as far away from the body as possible, and have it plugged into a dirty electricity filter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Can I try this?
Noted. I'm gonna write a quick note to myself that we're gonna need to get one of those shielded healing filters in here. All right, should we test the biocharger now?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Okay,
This
actually,
is
you know
gonna-
what?
this is gonna be
Before you
interesting.
flip it on, because it's gonna totally throw my phone all wacky, because it messes with the touchscreen.
I'm just putting that far away.
Here, let me get some of my equipment out of the way.
Yeah,
Just to
this thing's pretty
make
hefty.
sure. Some of this equipment can handle.
Okay. All right.
Some of it can't, so I just want to make sure.
Prepare for the biocharger. Wait till Brian gives you the go ahead.
Snobbed him.
Don't press that because it just
Okay,
shuts
so
the
I'm
whole thing
already
down. It's
getting-
the emergency shut off switch.
I'm already getting some current.
Is that thing,
ground
that thing's
current here.
off that you have that on top of, right? Because that's a vibrating foam. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
off. Okay.
Still getting some ground current just being down here.
Interesting.
Well, we are like in the ground, so.
There was definitely,
From wiring underneath, I think wiring.
yeah,
the floor.
just from the difference in, it's usually the difference between the foundation ground and the house ground. And there's not a continuous conductive surface underneath the ground.
Okay.
So that causes voltage changes to happen wherever
Right.
wherever you're walking
Excuse me.
around. And so when there's wiring in the wall, the current's flowing through your body down to the floor, and sometimes the current will flow up from the floor through your body to something over here. Just kind of depends on the situation. We can't really measure if it's going from the ground up or up down.
Now, is there a
we just-
fix for something like that?
The fix is to have a continuously conductive surface that's grounded to the same potential
Interesting.
So look at
Okay.
that.
through the whole
Excuse
floor.
me.
So this stuff is actual like gym flooring.
Right.
Rubber.
Because this actually used to
Rubberized
be our
material.
gym before we converted it into more of like a recovery facility.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll turn on the biocharger and we'll see what happens
All
to
right.
the
You
current.
ready? Here we go.
Oh wait, let's get
Wait,
this
wait.
on too, because we know there's going to be a magnetic field.
All right. Can I get this on video?
Wait.
Here we go.
All right,
Biocharger away. Ready?
Set,
ready?
Go.
Holy moly!
I mean, we're expecting this, though. That's what it's supposed to do, is create a pretty significant electromagnetic field.
This is the highest I've ever seen on this meter.
Wow.
What's that?
2,840 microamps.
That's what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to check the voltage now.
So some EMF is therapeutic. And that's what we're going after with this device.
Do not put anything metal close
So now we got 4.5 volts, 4,500 millivolts. It's at 32 kilohertz.
Oh, wow. Watch this. When I touch the wall, it goes down. Why is that? And when I take my hand off the wall, it goes way up.
Do that again.
Okay, hands on the wall. See how it
Maybe-
drops?
maybe is this
Oh no,
changing?
this thing's changing, but watch. So hand on the wall. Doesn't matter. This is gonna go through a whole wide range of frequencies, this biocharger will. So I'm at 3.44, watch when I take my hand off the wall. Goes way up.
Huh.
mind blown.
Hand on the wall, back down.
Let me
And off
test
the
your
wall.
whole body.
Whoa.
First, let's go. We know that's high over there. If there's this much current going through the body, there's the potential that your body is producing some kind of magnetic field itself. Because that's a lot of current. 14 volts now, 14,000 millivolts. Me just standing here. If I get close,
Yeah, and you're supposed to be like 3 to 5. They say the closer you are to it, the better when you're using it.
so
And this device is measuring the
electric field.
The electric
So-
field, yeah.
we're getting 64 kilohertz
Well, you got like 1,000 volts of lightning a second generated by this Tesla coil that's in there.
and 51,000 millivolts or 50 volts
Wow.
right now going through my body to the ground. Probably.
So it's working as advertised, basically.
It's definitely doing something.
blasting.
I don't feel comfortable with it.
I mean, I
But-
feel like amazing when I finish using it, like fully charged up.
it's possibly
Like compared to like cell phone, Wi-Fi router, I feel brain fog and drained. When I finish this thing, I feel totally charged, like really amazing. So I would say this might fall under the category of like high dose therapeutic EMF.
yeah, it's possible. I don't think it would be as much of a parasympathetic because it's very
Oh
stimulating.
no, it's incredibly stimulating.
Yeah, it's a stimulating.
They have one like nighttime setting that's more like a real, and you can't even hear it like this. It's really kind of like lower end, but this one is like a full body sweep So
Right.
it's supposed to be kind of like waking up the body.
Okay, let's see I just want to see this again. I've never seen that reading that high.
And I'll send this podcast also over to the folks at Biocharger, when we release it and get their feedback on it too, because they're going to want to listen to it anyways.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm sure they have some feedback, because I would imagine they've tested this. Because the guy who creates it, like that's all he does is test Tesla frequencies, Rife frequencies, radiation, electrical radiation, and magnetism.
Yeah, this isn't to say that there's anything dangerous or wrong about this product. It's just when I'm testing
it's
these
producing
things.
a massive film.
You need to make sure that you've done your research and that your body is, ready for something like this.
I can tell you, like, sleep cycles, but they do say some people, like, detox. See, now it's going super
overload.
high. Yeah. Careful, we don't want to break the meters.
240 kilohertz.
Should I try the arc?
Holy. I'll check the voltage.
What's it at now?
Did you get that on camera?
68 volts.
The arcing.
68?
It's overloaded on the microamps on the
If you guys are
current.
listening to this, this is definitely a part of the podcast where you're going to want to watch the video portion.
The current going through there. He just arced his body on the. Zzz. It's not doing it anymore. The peak is down. I think you discharged.
I discharged,
yeah,
yep.
definitely.
Wow.
So I want to
Try if I touch the wall again and then touch this. See that?
Yeah.
Watch when I release the wall and touch it. Still get a little bit.
They're gonna burn your finger.
I'll survive.
Yeah, 50 volts. What's interesting is I've measured saunas that are 65,000 millivolts or 65 volts.
And what
When
was
people are
this?
sitting in the sauna, this got up to 50.
50. So we tested this sauna last time, right?
Yeah, that was.
We were more concerned about cell phone towers and radio towers that were coming in through and we still haven't painted the wall or done, and we're going to be implementing all those recommendations after this analysis. But the sauna, if you guys go back, you can listen to the previous episode because we did the full walk through the sauna.
Yep.
And from what I recall, the biggest issue in that was all the frequencies coming in
Yeah.
through the window.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when we ground and shield the walls, all those radio frequencies will go away. All the electric fields from the wall that were coming into the sauna will go away as
So
well.
we're going to turn this into a cave too, guys. Awesome. Except when we flip the biocharger on, it'll be anything but a cave. All right, so should we go into the office now?
Yeah.
All right.
One thing you should ask the biocharger guys is if it's safe to have grounded things around with this.
Okay.
Conductive grounded things. So you should put that in your notes just to, like, how far away, like if you have a fully grounded surface on the wall, because this voltage is probably going to come out even more if there's more ground, like a lower voltage.
So basically, the question I'm going to ask them is what?
Just say, I'm planning on shielding the room that the biocharger is in, and it has this conductive paint that's grounded. Is there any concern, with having
Entire room with conductive grounding paint. Is there any concern with the biocharger? And what would the main concern be, you think?
Well, because everything's going to be lower voltage potential, like on the wall. Would it be bad to be between the wall and the biocharger, for instance?
Yeah. I'll ask them.
Because it's going to want to go toward the lowest voltage.
I'll email them and I'll CC you on the email as well. Okay, so and then this is the hyperbaric. Do you want to test this at all just to see what it does?
Sure.
Do you think we should have somebody inside of it?
Yeah, we should get
With everything flipped on? Hey guys, we might do the hyperbaric here too real quick just to test. Like put somebody in there, zip it up. One of you guys want to be a guinea pig?
Already volunteered.
All right. So we'll ask Brian what meters you need to have in there.
What? You don't want that?
You don't need to have the oxygen mask on.
Oh, I thought that was a cup.
No. HBO, you can keep that in there. It's fine.
I'll make it in.
Hopefully nobody ever mistook that for a cup.
No, I hope not, because I put it on my face every day. That's why I was picking pubes out of my teeth the other night.
Okay, guys, I got the little bar here. Hold on to the bar. All right.
So what we'll do is I'll flip everything on, but we're not going to like zip you guys up because that's really not going to change anything. I'm just going to turn everything on that's running and see how much EMF we get when this thing's running. And then, by the way, that ice tub, the Morosco Forge, is right outside the office door.
Okay,
so we
cool.
can test that after we do the office.
All right, so right now without it on, we're pretty high. We're on
So in the
2,000.
hyperbaric, we're at 2,000.
2,000
And
millivolts.
what's that measuring?
Electric fields
Okay, inside.
inside.
And that would mostly be coming from like the electrical wiring, the walls surrounding the HBOT unit.
Yeah,
all that kind of
so like if I stand on this electrical cord that's plugged in, hey guys, could one of you stick your hand out?
So you just grounded him, right?
Who is yeah. So I'm grounding him. Yeah. If I was actually more insulated from the ground, the reading would go up.
Yeah, we're pretty insulated. There's like a mat in here.
Yeah, you guys are insulated in there.
Now, should we
So-
see what happens when we turn it on?
Yeah, sometimes when you turn it on, it's interesting. The reading will go down because
Okay.
the current's
I'm
flowing.
going to
So
flip
we'll
both
see.
the oxygen scrubber on, and then I'm also going to flip the actual air compressor on. Okay.
Okay, so
So now we're running very similar to how we'd be running if we were actually doing an HBOT session, even though it's not actually zipped up.
700, and then we'll measure the magnetic field as well.
Seems like it'd be pretty easy to put an HBOT chamber, like to retrofit it with like grounding cloth.
Yeah, you should be able to do. I mean, when you shield the room, it'll take care of a lot of that issue
Yeah, that's true.
with the grounding and everything. So the concern is these motors running close by. Can you guys see in there? Could you tell me the reading?
What's it say?
What?
Say it loud.
6.6? 0.6? Okay, how about over here? Like, so your head's normally that way, right?
Yep.
2 point whatever. Okay, so, all right, you can hand it to me. So I would say moving that away, further away from that's gonna
Basically,
help with that magnetic
move the
field.
air compressor and the oxygen scrubber as far away from the actual chamber as possible.
Yeah.
Kind of like the PMF. Like just move anything that's controlling something as far away from it as possible.
Yep, definitely.
Makes sense.
That'll help with the magnetic field and unhook.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Plus, if we ground or if we shield this room, I have a feeling that's going to help out quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
And then as far as the dirty electricity filter goes, to my understanding, if one is plugged into just one outlet of the room, that kind of takes care of the dirty electricity in every other outlet, assuming they're all run on the same breaker.
Yeah, sometimes there's an ideal location to put it, like the first line that comes in. But really, if you're trying to protect from a source that's in the room that's created while it's on, it's best to have that device directly plugged in. And actually, we could get the reading probably lower that's coming onto the electrical line if we had one extra one in here. Just because that thing when that was on, it was producing a lot.
Okay.
So I would do 2 in this room at least.